Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today in this other movie review. Now I have other movie reviews. Go ahead and check the playlist and hopefully you find a movie that you like, maybe a movie that you thought about and said, hey, should I watch this? And I'll give you my honest opinion on it. I think that's really important. Today we're going to be looking at the movie Hercules. This is the 2014 film starring The Rock, also known as Dwayne Johnson. He was
Know your legend. You're the son of Zeus.
a wrestler from WWE, and I think you will be pleasantly surprised by this film. Now, as soon as the movie starts, I do want to tell you there was some nice imagery that was used. There was a narrator that was kind of narrating everything.
No matter how fast you run, no matter how far you go.
Of course, this is the background of this whole story is Greek. And so, you know, Greek thought and so forth, Hercules, and it tells a story in a very Moses-esque way. And what I mean by that is, you know, baby was born and his father was Zeus and his mother was so-and-so mortal and all that. You know, it gave that little dramatic type Greek prose, which I think was pretty interesting. However, I immediately started to notice some issues. There was a scene with a snake.
That killed you.
It's like the snake came out of the statue, and I won't get into the reason why or everything, but it just looked really bad. And I had to look back down at my little information sheet, see what year did they make this? 2014. That's not that long ago. And the CGI was pretty horrid, to be honest with you, for 2014. I've seen better stuff in '05, so I was like, is this a low budget film? But then it started to get interesting because pretty much it's a little baby, blah, 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 boom, he grows up into the Rock, and I'm like, ooh, and he goes through his 12 labors, and it lists them Hydra, and you see him slicing through, and then you see him fighting a bear, and you're like, oh wow, this is gonna get into the labors. And then it talks about the lion, and it doesn't show the entire fight of the lion. It's just like, oh, okay. The Hydra thing, it doesn't really show it. And I'm like, what's this movie gonna be about? Like, I was really into like the thought of this movie being about his 12 labors, like him going on an adventure. I mean, that's what I thought the movie was gonna be about. I was wrong. There was a few nice battles where it was like slow motion. It was like with the sword, and it was, you know, CGI and nice and stuff, but it was very cut short. And I said, this is the first 5 minutes of the movie. It's like they're going through his whole life in the first, what's this movie gonna be about? And then we learned that Hercules has a team. And to be honest with you, I did kind of study this when I took Latin as a language. And I don't remember him having a team. Maybe he did. I don't know. I may be really rusty, but I was like, I thought Hercules... I thought he maybe had one guy, like in the TV show with Kevin Sorbo, he had one guy. He had a team of like 6 or 7 people. And then I started looking at The Rock, and of course he's muscular and he does this crazy diet where he has like 50,000 carbs a day and all this stuff. But I was like, does it really work for this part? This is a Samoan man. And, you know, I don't want to get into the logistics of it, but like just looking at it in a very... logical way, does he work for like the part of Hercules? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I do like The Rock. I do like him in other movies. I just don't think it worked. I don't know. He had like the long hair, and it's like he's bald in real life, and it just didn't work for me. His beard kind of worked. It just looked fake. Like it looked like he was put together. It didn't look like that's how he just was. Although he's muscular, he looked the part. I think that was good, but in terms of his speech and how he spoke, there was something off in my...
I only want to be a husband and a father.
Then there was this party scene that I don't really understand because it was like a lull in action. Let me tell you about this. I used to be a teacher, and some students, when they wrote essays, they had BS. Basically, they had to do 3 pages, and they just filled it with 2.5 pages of just, well, in today's paper, we're gonna... This movie felt like it had a good amount of that. I was like, why are we doing 30 minutes of this party scene with talk that has nothing to do with what's happening 15 minutes later? Like, they could have skipped that and maybe done a 20-minute Hydra fight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why these decisions were made. I don't know if it was because of budget costs. It was just kind of painful. Why would you have a 20-minute scene at a party when you can have a 20-minute fight, a 20-minute battle of like his labors, the thing he's known about? And then there's this whole concept of, well, maybe Hercules isn't really what we know him to be. Maybe it's all just a myth, and the reality is that he's just a man. And so the movie kind of plays with that idea, and I won't ruin what happens at the end, but although it was interesting, I was kind of let down. The feeling of Greece, of them being in Greece, was also off. Like I said, there's a lot of things in this movie that were just off to me. It didn't flow together. It seemed like things were pieced together. If you really asked me, it seems like they came up with the script in a day, to be honest with you. Like, that's just how it seemed. There was no real substance there. I think there was the illusion of substance, but there really wasn't much substance. I mean, yes, there were some cool scenes. There was a really great thing where there's a giant coming at the Rock, and we think that there's going to be a huge battle, but the Rock just goes like this and punches him in the face and knocks him like 100 feet back. That could have been a great battle scene. That could have been a great fight. Like, on the floor, like something. It wasn't. I was disappointed. The dialogue was a little weird. It was stunted. It was like they were speaking English, but it was like, we go here, and then we come to the king. It was just like, why are you speaking like that?
My time's not come yet.
Like, I know they were trying to do that. It was, like I said, it didn't feel authentic to me. I didn't get that feeling of I'm immersed in this world. Felt like I was watching a movie the entire time. Then there was this part where Hercules was in a vulnerable position, and he goes, I am Hercules!
I am Hercules!
And I was like, isn't that like when they say, I am Sparta? It was just so like, I don't even want to use the word cringy, but it didn't feel authentic. It felt like the director just said, just go, I am Hercules, and see what happens, and say it with all your emotion. A little bit of overacting. I don't know. I hate to be critical, but it didn't work for me. The movie didn't work. Then honestly, the real Hercules, we see the real Hercules for the last 15-20 minutes. Like, the movie isn't that long, but it was just like, really? Like, I wanted to see more of this. It was kind of a letdown. I believe Brett Ratner was responsible for this film, and I was really surprised because I like a lot of his other films, and I was like, what happened here? So if you guys know any of the background, just let me know. I'm going to have to grade this film, and honestly, the way I see it, if a film gets an A, it is outstanding, spectacular, exceptional. If a film gets a B in the B range, it is good. It is better than average. C would be average, D would be horrible, and F would be it failed. It failed in all aspects. I would say this film was average. It wasn't interesting. It didn't push me over the edge. Were there interesting elements? Yeah, but they were they were fleeting. They left. And so I have no problem giving this film a C. It deserves a C. In my opinion, it was just mediocre. It was just run-of-the-mill. Were there pretty good scenes? Yeah, I was even hesitant. I was like, should I give it a C+? But I think no. I think the film deserves a C. I think they could have done a lot more. There were some redeeming qualities. Unless you're like a huge Hercules fan, I would say just skip it. You're not missing much. There's a cool kind of moral at the end, but it's been there, done that. Nothing that I went away from saying, wow, I wish that I see this again. I mean, I would see it again if someone maybe really wants to watch it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. So hopefully, guys and gals, you enjoyed this. I have different movies with different ratings, and so hopefully you enjoy those and take a look at those. I'll see you all next time, and don't forget, be hopeful.